So, I'm really excited to be here, and I want to be real with you. Men aren't drawn to pressure, they are drawn to a woman who feels filled instead. So, hyper achieving, over functioning, all of that stuff is actually doing the opposite of what we probably want. So, today I want to show you what that looks like. What it looks like when you're not operating from a over functioning, overachieving energy, and when you're using your creativity to fool you, what that looks like from the end of attracting a man, all right, or reigniting the attraction, however however you want to look at it. So for me, when I'm fueled like this, I notice that I'm softer, I'm less combative, not that I am but I'm just lighter. Things are it's easier for things to just sort of wash off me, as they say. I don't take things as personal as I would when I used to be in my over functioning, hyper vigilant state. People, especially men, respond differently, and that's what I really want to emphasize today. So, because my energy changes, our energy changes as women, as humans. In the past, what we would do was, even when we weren't energetically, and I'm not talking about energy, that is not the focus. I'm just talking about how over functioning and over performing keeps us in a state that actually has us not attracting what we want as it pertains to relationships, and has us in the energy that is more repellent, than as rather than attractive or attracting. That's the perspective I'm sharing. How, as an overachiever, overperformer, the energy that drives that over perfectionism, that over performing, is very repellent in the sense of in romantic attractions. And so I just want to share with you some ways that you can soften up, that even as you progress on your journey to unhook from the strong black woman trap. You can soften up, and you can be lighter and exude that softness that will attract that partner to you. So, as I mentioned in the past, what I would do is I would try to force everything, proving myself, overworking, overgiving. That was the energy. And so, even when it came to relationships, or my relationship, um, even though I wasn't, it, he was who he is in my life, but it spilled over in a way that wasn't was counter. It was more contentious at the time, um, because the truth is, if you're an overachiever, if you're hooked on the strong black woman trap, it's not just at work. We're not overperforming just at work or in our relationships or in every other. It's everywhere. You are who you are everywhere. So this is what it looked like, I guess, is what I'm trying to say in my relationship. I was definitely and that period was not very soft, to just put it very lightly. Um, but when I realized that, or when I started to unhook and I started to take the more aligned path in my life, it spilled over into my relationship, and what it did was make it much more. I was more authentic, obviously, but I was softer. I was able to express my femininity without feeling threatened. I was able to just be who I was without feeling the need to be strong here, perform here, come here, and because you really can't. So even when we try to, it's still, the energy doesn't lie. So the softness transferred and carried over, and that's what I'm calling magnetism, because the opposite of being the strong black woman or being on a strong black woman trap in the relationship is being magnetic in your relationship. And it's not just about, and so I'm calling it creative energy. The creative energy is magnetizes you and allows you to attract what you want. And if you're already in a relationship, it softens that relationship and just allows you to get what you want. So it's not just about creativity; it's about attraction. Is what I want to say. Because when you're drained, you carry that edge. And it closes you off. If you're someone who's seeking to be in a relationship, it closes you off. It doesn't matter how many dates you go on. It doesn't matter how many activities you participate in. It doesn't matter how many people you meet. That over perfectionist, over perfectionist energy really spills over in a wrong way in romantic connections, or when you're trying to build romantic connections. You're almost like hardened, and even when you try to be less like that, it doesn't matter because it's a way of being, and you're carrying it over into your that side of things. It closes you off. You just you repel, right? Not you, the energy repels. And the opposite is when you're fueled, you radiate. So that's the energy that will make him lean in more and not pull back. That's an energy that will just sort of draw him closer to you. So my question to you is, what fuels your energy when you're running on empty, or when you're in that over perfection, over performing, over functioning mode? What fuels your energy? For me, now it's when what fuels my energy is, and what allows me to really harness this side that I'm on, is meditation, is prayer. And I've mentioned this before. It's running, it's working out. Those are the things. It's hot here. It's New York City, and it's like I love it. I'm not complaining, but I think it should be cooler. So the truth is, being magnetic has nothing to do with looks. Also, I just want to say that, or titles, so that sometimes we feel that because we have all accomplished all these things, we have reached this status in life, that we should just automatically be attractive and energize and magnetize the partners that we want. It's more than that. That energy even repels that. So even though you have the titles, and you're beautiful, and you're wonderfully clad, and you're really at the top of your game, the energy just blocks all that, because all what is presented, or what is active, is I'm just going to keep doing. I'm not restful. I don't receive with ease. Everything is like, so it's more than looks, and it's more than titles. And just feeling that because you've accomplished this, I'm going to accomplish this in my romantic life is not true, as evidenced by how many highly accomplished, highly successful, beautiful women do we know who are struggling romantically, struggling to attract, struggling to maintain relationships that are vibrant and soft, and meet their needs. The one thing has, I want to say absolutely nothing, but it has very little to do with the other. In fact, because of that over functioning energy and strong woman trap that you're on, you are in actuality getting the opposite of what you want. And to counter that, what you need to do is you need to align and feel yourself, so that you can show up in a way, or in ways that draw love, respect, kindness, connection, without forcing it, because we are generally used to forcing things, and the more you force, the more the things run away from you. So just feeling that because you have these degrees, you don't have to you don't have to work on yourself, and you will just expect the same type of success romantically as you did professionally, is not true. So as I mentioned, once I unhooked and I started to show up as myself authentically, as I started to not feel the need to be perfect, and to just be who I was, be who I be, it was easy to tap into my feminine, my soft side. And so that's what, I'm encouraging you to do. And once I realized that, there were certain things that even made that energy, or that magnetism, amplified. It was, if I would pray before I had a conversation about serious things. Um, I would go run if I was stressed, so that I wouldn't bring it into like couples night or something like that. So those are the things that fueled me when I was in that state. Um, and so for you, think back to the last time you felt magnetic. And I'm talking again about romantic relationships or romantic connections or dating, trying to find a romantic person. Not so much in the weeds about it, just in terms of how, when you're a hyper achiever, hyper vigilant person, it spills over into that side of things, and some ways that you can prepare yourself so that you are attracting what you want instead of repelling what you want because you are like that, you know. So when was the last time you felt magnetic, and what was it that allowed you to be in that state, and what fueled you to be in that state? Um, because when you're in that state, you're not just creating more, you're more attractive and you're attracting more. And that's what shifts everything from overperforming to just being who you are. So I hope this helped. Um, and, you know, if you want to work deeper on this, if you want to really, really harness the benefits of being a person who has external success and is now leaning into to have that internal satisfaction, internal fulfillment, you can comment Embody and I'll share the link with you so you can check it out to see if it's a right fit for you. Or if you want to start on a lighter note, I have a guide. It's called the 5 Signs of Being Trapped, and the Strong Black Woman Trap. And it also gives you, so you're able to rate yourself, rank yourself with the 5 signs to see where you stand. Most of us are at least meeting 2 or more of those signs. But what it does is also, once it shines a light on where you are as far as the signs, I give you some hacks that will help you to start to move away from them in an easeful way so that you're not adding more to your plate and so that you can begin that journey. The link is below somewhere or in the description, my YouTube channel description. As always, share this if you think there's someone who needs to learn how to soften up, how to release the over perfectionism, lean into themselves, stop feeling that you have to perform for worth, for value, for love, even because you're worthy just as you are. You will be loved just as you are. You're valuable just as you are. It's not about what you can give, what you can do. It's about who you be, who you are. Being a woman who shows up authentically. Being a woman who says, oops, my bad, I'm late, sorry. Being a woman who doesn't have to feel she has to go the extra mile to prove herself all the time. And I want to add also too that it's not our fault. This stuff is years and years and years of programming, conditioning by society, by culture. So it really is not your fault. And I don't want you to go hard on yourself, because in fact that too is a sign that you're in that trap. When you're very hard on yourself, you extend grace to others, but when it comes to you, you hold yourself in such crazy standards because you don't know how to be. You don't know how to just let yourself be who you are. Relax your shoulders, take a nice deep breath, hold it, exhale, and just say, I am worthy just as I am. I'll see you in the next video.